Morning, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for joining us today for CONNECTpreneur. This is our 11th year of doing CONNECTpreneur, so we're thrilled that you guys have all played a great part in our growth and longevity. For those of you who don't know us very well, CONNECTpreneur is a global community of over 25,000 investors, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and professional service providers from around the world. Today is our 69th CONNECTpreneur event overall and our 25th virtual CONNECTpreneur rocket pitch over the last 23 months. We are now the world's largest monthly investor pitch event. So again, thank you guys for helping us make this all possible. We've had over 800 presenting companies, and our CONNECTpreneur investor network now totals over 3,000 accredited private investors, angels, family offices, and other investors who are interested in investing in awesome deals that they can meet through the CONNECTpreneur community and our events. It seems like yesterday, when 10 years ago we originally started CONNECTpreneur as a forum for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and investors to connect and engage and to learn and be inspired, to celebrate innovation and entrepreneurship. And our intent is to help our community members find capital, find awesome deals, find partners or customers, and meet and engage with great business leaders. So our events are all about connecting, and this is why we do these events as meetings. So I see we have almost 300 people on, and everybody can see everyone else, and everyone can message everyone else. And that's sort of the best we can do to replicate what we do during our sort of in-person events. So anyway, a couple things about today's event. After we have 10 presenters, and after our final presenter, we will open up 10 breakout rooms, and each breakout room will be hosted by one of our presenting companies, and you'll be able to enter and leave whichever breakout room you like. So please do visit with as many of the presenting companies that you have an interest in investing in or learning more about. The purpose of the breakout rooms is for our presenting companies to go deeper with interested investors and partners. So please remember that these breakout rooms are hosted by the presenting companies, and please conduct yourselves accordingly. Also, please be respectful and tactful when using the group chat. You can post your LinkedIn and other contact info and introduction, but please do not overload the chat. And unless you're a presenter, please don't post more than 2 or 3 times. People will have an opportunity to download the chat text transcript when they leave, and then they can read all the chats that have been on there, because it is not going to be possible to do this on a real-time basis. And our presenters, they'll be posting links to the deck and executive summaries in the group chat, along with registration information for any follow-on investor meetings that they're going to be hosting in the coming week or 2. So please pay attention. If you want to go deeper with our presenters, then be aware that many of them are hosting follow-on meetings next week and the week after. So let's see. We talked about downloading the chat transcript before you leave the meeting and even before you go into the breakout rooms. So how do you do that? Click on the chat icon at the bottom of the toolbar, and then you'll see a little rounded square with 3 dots, and just click on that icon and hit save, and you'll be able to save your transcript, and you can review and follow up with all of the messages later. Also, we're going to be polling investors, and this is for investors only, after the 4th, 7th, and 10th presenter. So please remember, this is an investors only. It's confidential. We're not sharing any poll results. Only the information will go to the presenting company so they can follow up with our investors. So if you're not an investor, please do not participate in the investor poll. Let's see. We're also going to post the latest program book, the link in the chat box. Sky, if you can take care of that. We have all 10 executive summaries plus information on our sponsors, as well as a list of attendees who have registered. So if you haven't already downloaded it, you'll be able to do that pretty soon. And we're also conducting 2 polls on behalf of our sponsors so we can generate leads for them. And this is really important because our sponsors make these events possible. So we'll do a sponsor poll at the beginning before we start the presentations, and then at the end after the last investor poll. So if you have any interest in working with any of our sponsors, or if you have services that you might require, please be sure to indicate when we put up polls. This is confidential also, but we will share your information with our sponsors so they can follow up with you. And really, thank you so much for your participation. And You can see the list of our sponsors in the program book and their company information and company and contact bios inside the book, and I'll shout them out individually in a couple of minutes. But just really quickly, here's a rundown for today. We have 10 total presenters. Each presentation will be between 4 and 4.5 minutes with no question and answer. If you are captivated, then be sure to indicate that on the investor poll if you're an investor. And if you have more questions, you can go into the breakout room of each presenting company and ask questions at that point. That'll be live and interactive. The first 5 presenters will be introduced by Anthony Millen of Next, powered by Schumann Rogers. And the next 5 presenters will be introduced by Lauren Digler of Nephos Brow. And investors, again, please remember we're going to do 3 polls after number 4, number 7, and number 10. Finally, please mark your calendars for upcoming events. Our next virtual rocket pitch is February 24th. It is live on Eventbrite. Sky will put the link to register in the chat box. And if you have any desire to sponsor, exhibit, or present at any of our events, let Skylar know. And also on February 15th, if you are in the Washington, D.C. area, that evening we will be hosting our Connect Tales party. It's a cocktail party at Maggiano's. It's strictly social and fun, no presenters, although we do have some exhibitors. And it's been 2 years since we did our last in-person Connect Tales event. So we're really super excited to finally be able to get back to doing that. And our partner, Hank Dearden of 3D, Hank will be posting the registration list into our chat box. So with that, we can start the program. So first of all, I'd like to welcome Pat Sheridan, who is co-founder and managing partner of Modus Create, one of our awesome sponsors. And Modus Create is one of the world's leading digital transformation companies. They have global agile development teams and high-level consulting engagements. And they help some of the world's top brands as well as early-stage companies with successful software development, mobility, and other digital transformation services. Little advertisement for Pat and his team. Modus has been instrumental in the success of several CONNECTpreneur presenting company alumni, including 3 companies that I'm personally involved in as an investor and board member. And the Modus team is top drawer. We highly recommend them. So if you're looking to design, develop, and ship awesome software product on time and on budget, then Modus is definitely the right choice to help you get there. Also, Modus just completed an 8-figure funding round with a major private equity firm to continue their global expansion. So I'd like to congratulate Pat and your team on that. And Pat, thank you so much for your support and welcome.
Hey, thanks, Tien. You know, I really empathize with everyone pitching today, having just gone through a year and a half of prepping for investment banking and private equity growth round. So I can understand the stress of running your company, growing it, and having to manage all that. So all the best to the presenters today. I was looking at the program book, Tien, and I noticed there's like a really strong focus on health and wellness-oriented startups. So I just thought it might be interesting. I'll keep my remarks brief. As Tien mentioned, we do a lot of full stack product strategy and development, especially for folks that are scaling. But we also work with a lot of private equity firms and venture capitalists on the technical diligence side of funding companies in highly regulated environments. One of our largest innovation clients is Pfizer. So we're working on a lot of platforms and looking at how many SaaS platforms are pitching in and doing evaluations and audits of that work. So I think maybe not for all of the presenters here, but for those that are kind of looking to grow within those kind of markets, it might be interesting to connect offline. And so last thing I would just say is just in terms of market trends that we're seeing, working with growth firms, again, especially on the private equity side, is the more that we see data breaches happening, the more that cyber audits and the way in which you architect your systems specifically on the data side and your strategies to kind of move into AI, machine learning, and stay regulatory compliant are becoming larger parts of diligence and audits. So we've got a decent amount of experience there. So that being said, always welcome introductions and connect and see where I can help folks super connect. My network is pretty good. It's no Tien Wong, but we're dealing with a lot of the folks that I think can be helpful to the broader ecosystem. So with that said, all the best to the presenters today. And Tien, I'll turn it back over to you.
Oh, that's great, Pat. Thank you so much. We really greatly appreciate all you do for the CONNECTpreneur community in every way. And Pat also has conducted his team has conducted some great master classes on product development. And obviously that's for our community. So hopefully we'll have you guys continue doing that. So now let's put up our first poll. It's a poll for our awesome sponsors. And basically, these guys make our events possible. So please respond if you have any interest in any of these great services. We'll make sure you get connected right away. This is a confidential poll, so we're not going to publish it. But our sponsors can be found inside the program book, but I'll read them off. We have Next, powered by Schumann Rogers, First Financial Group, Modus Create, which is Pat's company, Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, Association for Enterprise Growth, Stella Pop, Nemphos Brow, Startup Grind, Nelson Mullins, Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, Ryan Wetmore, Enterprise Transformation Solutions, Formicidae, SunTrust Bank, Keiretsu Forum, Angels and Life Sciences Investors, Refraction, and I'm here in Refraction where CONNECTpreneur has our studios, and it is the top co-working and innovation community in the Washington, D.C. area. We're right here about 15 miles west of the nation's capital, and our CEO, Esther Lee, is on today. Esther is offering 2 months free rent for anyone in the region who wants to sign a lease here, and it's an awesome place. So come visit if you're in the Washington, D.C. area. Also want to thank the Baltimore Angels, Georgetown Entrepreneurship, SFA, Founder Institute, Maryland Tech Council, FITSE, the Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship at the University of Maryland, the Institute for Excellence in Sales, NABO, Center for Advancing Innovation, the U.S. International Development Center, COBE, the annual Wharton DC Summit, MIT Alumni Angels of Washington, D.C., and the Monty Jade Science and Technology Association. Thank you guys so much. And thank you also for participating in our poll. We will be sure to introduce you to our awesome sponsors. So let's get started. To introduce our first batch of presenters, I'd like to introduce longtime CONNECTpreneur partner Anthony Millen, who's co-founder and chair of Next, powered by Schumann Rogers. Anthony is a great friend of ours, good friend of mine. He's an attorney, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he's a general partner in the Urbanus family of venture capital funds. So he's a triple threat, basically. Next is disrupting the way startup law is being performed with package offerings on a fixed price basis. Next was recently selected by Law.com and Legal Week as the Startup Emerging Growth Company Law Firm of the Year, beating out several huge and well-known firms. Congratulations and welcome, Anthony.
Great. Thank you, TN. And I'd like to thank you, Skylar, and the entire CONNECTpreneur team for today's event. We are very honored to be a longtime sponsor and supporter of CONNECTpreneur, which is a leading global event connecting entrepreneurs, investors, and other members of the startup ecosystem. As Tian mentioned, Next is an innovative new model for delivering legal services from launch through each stage of growth and has been designed from an entrepreneur's perspective. We offer predictable and reasonable legal fees through fixed price packages and service bundles. Our clients work directly with seasoned attorneys through a hands-on, high-touch legal services model, and we integrate a robust technology platform to create a client-centric experience that is collaborative, efficient, and transparent. For more information on Next, visit us at www.next.law or email us at info@next.law. So the first company that I have the honor of introducing today is Blue Vigil. Blue Vigil is the current market leader in drone tether technology. Blue Vigil is using its current technology to create a new product category, aerial LED portable lighting, to disrupt the $4 billion a year mobile tower lighting industry. Please welcome Rob Schumann, CEO of Blue Vigil.
Good morning. Thank you all. Great to be here this morning with you all. And as Anthony said, we are a company that's been in business for 4 to 5 years and are currently the market leaders for power tethers for drones. And over the last year, we have identified a really exciting new market opportunity, which is why we're here today to raise capital to bring that product to market. So the problem is, and you all have seen this, you're driving at night through a construction site and you're basically blinded by the lights shining at you out of the construction site down the highway. And that's a result that the current technology to bring light into those markets is essentially these portable light towers. They're big, they're heavy, and they're dangerous because of the lighting issues related to it. So the solution that we have come up with is to basically use a power tether and then take a light and attach it to a drone. And by doing that, we're able to do a 90% reduction in the size and the weight of the resultant solution, turning what is a tow-behind trailer product into a unit you can put in the back of your pickup truck. So the product is the LED light systems mounted on a drone, sits on a tether, so it's powered from the ground. This enables you to get up to 80 to 100 feet and be able to shine the light straight down. We're able to create the same amount of usable light as the other solutions with a much lighter and better scenario, and again, much safer light because you're shining straight down instead of shining across a work site. So the market for portable light towers is a very considerable market at $4 billion per year, growing at about 20% per year. And this market today is primarily into the construction, public safety, and energy services areas. And rental companies are a big player in this. We believe our technology can take over most of this market, as well as, because of its better use cases, give you a growth area as well into other opportunities. Normally in these competition slides, you would see a bunch of companies. This is one of those rare opportunities where it's actually entire product categories that we're supplanting. Our solution fits very naturally in that upper right, which you always love as an entrepreneur. So we have all of the usable safe light while having all the portability of the other solutions. We will continue and do continue to sell our current drone tethers, but we are in the process of developing and bringing to market the aerial LED, looking to have first MVP in July, coming to market in late 2022. The management team is myself and Carl Miller are the primary managers. Carl and I have worked together for over 25 years in a variety of venture-backed startups, large companies, as well as smaller startups. We have deep networks. We're good at what we do. This is a business that would generate potentially as much as $92 million in 2026, with 65% plus gross margins and operating margins in the mid-40s. We are looking to raise approximately $1 million seed round, which is in progress. We've already closed $500K of that from our current investor angels. It's in the form of a convertible note to a Series A, which we anticipate in the third or fourth quarter of this year. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Feel free to contact myself or Carl Miller directly, or we look forward to seeing you afterwards in the breakout room. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Rob. I now have the privilege of introducing Climate Karma. Climate Karma is like Fitbit for climate, automatically and continually measuring your personal climate footprint based on cloud data interconnections to partner APIs. Please welcome Wendell Brown, CEO of Climate Karma.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. So Climate Karma is like Fitbit for climate. We enable consumers to automatically measure and reduce their personal carbon footprint. So global warming and climate change, I think we're all familiar with. The World Economic Forum has stated that consumers are responsible for 60 to 70% of all emissions. And management icon Peter Drucker has taught that you can't improve what you don't measure. And so the problem is that consumers lack a method to easily measure and thus improve or reduce their carbon footprint. So if you can't measure it, then how can you improve it? So that's the problem we'll talk about today. So how do we solve this? So our solution is that we leverage cloud APIs to automate consumer carbon footprint data collection. We do it automatically. And we do it in a way that's fun to use and effortless and zero effort on the user's part, along with things like personal rewards. So we leverage the hundreds of APIs out there where we can collect climate impact data from each person, even things like the DC Metro, Uber, Lyft, Nest, even Kroger, where we have access to an API where we can get individual food purchases. So what we're doing then is we calculate a climate karma score, which then automatically calculates your unified multi-vendor climate impact score based on your individual purchases and activities. We use techniques like gamification, incentives, rewards, badges, rankings, etc., to keep it fun and interesting. So then what we do is after we collect all that user data, we then package it. There's various standards that we comply with, and then we sell that information that is offsets into the carbon offset market, which is a $40 billion a year market projected to be by 2030. So there's other companies that sell carbon offsets, companies like Tesla, Green Mountain Energy. What we do is different because we actually collect actual data, not estimates, to meet the accounting requirements. So we do it in a way that's gamified and social, a way that's not only differentiated, but also disruptive and defensible. Our financials project that over the next few years, we can grow this into a good business, into a substantial, profitable business. We're a software company at heart, and so it's very profitable. Our team, myself, I started a company before that was acquired by Microsoft, and we've got a great team of other professionals from universities like Stanford, MIT. Myself, I went to Cornell, so we've got a wonderful team. We've raised $200,000 to date, and we're raising $2 million, and the proceeds are for product development, sales, marketing, operations. And then to connect back with what we talked about before, Peter Drucker has famously also said that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that's what we'd like your help with us to do, is to raise funding so we can go ahead and do that. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the Climate Karma breakout room. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Wendell. I would now like to introduce Concentrix Pharmaceuticals. Concentrix has developed Helix R, a unit-dose disposable dry powder inhaler drug delivery platform. Helix R can be combined with a multitude of pharmaceutical products to create patented products until 2038. Please welcome Gil Mott, CEO of Concentrix.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and good morning, everyone. We created Concentrix to improve inhaled drug delivery. That's the key. We are developing drugs for inhalation. We have developed Helix. It will replace these unit dose or these multi-dose inhalers that are very well known and used for a lot of major drugs. However, most people can't use them properly. The coordination of the press and breathe is always a problem. About 70% can't do it correctly. So that's the problem we're trying to address with this new inhaler. It's called Helix. It's a unit dose disposable dry powder inhaler. It costs 3 cents to manufacture one. It's one piece of molded plastic. There's a piece of foil that protects the dose that goes inside of it, and then it's heat sealed and closed. To operate it, you just pull the tab out, inhale the dose, and throw it away. Very simple. And in clinical trials, we were able to show tremendous improvement over the multi-dose inhaler. We also have a nasal version, which we're developing, which would be useful for additional drugs. Our primary focus is on drugs for asthma and COPD, which many of you might be aware of. Drugs like albuterol, Ventolin, Beclovent, Becanase, Flonase, Flovent, Advair, drugs like that. Spiriva. Many of you who are familiar with these problems of asthma and COPD are probably familiar with some of those drug names. So our unit dose is also considerably good for vaccines, and it would also be good for steroids and hormones and other things. We're focusing on the respiratory products. We've completed 2 phases of clinical research. We're raising our Series A, which is $6.5 million, is what $6 million is what we're trying to achieve. We've got $3 million in angel investment. This money will last 18 months and will get us very close to full-scale production. So with that, I will thank you for your time and your attention, and I look forward to speaking with you in the breakout room or on a future Zoom call. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Gil. Next, I would like to introduce Epitel Health. Epitel Health home treatment services enable chronic patients to live longer with their chronic disease and with high quality of life. Please welcome Hans-Erik Henriksen, CEO of Epitel Health.
Thank you. As you heard, we are a health tech company which treat chronic patients in their own home to enable them to live longer with their chronic disease and improve their quality of life. For every patient, healthcare stakeholders save considerable cost and resources. The problem is that chronic diseases take up 80% of healthcare spend, and the bigger problem is that it's increasing year by year. From 2015 to 2005 to 2015, the number of chronic heart disease patients in the US increased by almost 500%. More important, the expenditure increased by almost 700%. Meet Mary. She is sitting in a chair in her home. Mary is living with a chronic lung and heart disease. Last year, Mary had 20 visits to the hospital, including one inpatient stay. After joining Epitel Health, she's educated and empowered to do her own measurements at home and take action herself based on her tablet and dashboard. The Epitel Health call center follow her reporting in real time, and they immediately contact her and initiate proactive treatment if needed. On the chart to the right, you see Mary's daily reporting since she joined Epitel Health, and you see that the red conditions have now changed to yellow and green. As a result, Mary had no hospital visits since she joined Epitel Health. With Epitel Health, chronic patient visits are reduced by more than 60%, and patients live longer with their chronic disease and with higher quality of life. The Epitel Health franchise offering consists of a software as a service solution and the Epitel Care model, a research-based treatment methodology for proactive treatment of chronic patients. After 7-year operation on the Danish market, Epitel Health is now ready to offer their franchise to international partners. The Epitel Health solution addresses a $19 billion market, growing at 7.2% every year. In our 5-year plan, our first ambition is to capture a modest share of the European market, and with further international markets, the potential for our franchise business model exceeds $600 million revenue. We have done an analysis of the top 23 competitors in the US and Germany, many of which also address the global market. All 23 of them offer telehealth solutions, and 17 are currently active in Europe. Our SaaS platform includes clinical forecasting based on AI. Only 5 of our competitors offer similar solutions. Only 2 competitors match our total offering, and none of them have, to our knowledge, scientific evidence to prove the benefits of their solution. Our operation in Denmark continues to grow recurring revenue, but our big future potential is on international market. We plan to sign the first international franchise partner in 2022 and ramp up to a total of 7 partners by 2027. There's a modest and conservative plan, and we believe there's a potential solid upside. The team and founders of Epitel Health are experienced and successful entrepreneurs with long healthcare IT, life science, and AI experience from executive and specialist careers. Combined, the team has completed 4 exits and raised a total of $80 million. We have so far invested $2.6 million in the SaaS platform, and especially in our randomized controlled research project. In order to target international markets, we need to develop as well the SaaS platform for an international version, our clinical procedures, and especially future AI and predictive health technology. For this, we ask for a seed investment of $2.5 million. I hope you find the Epitel Health investment opportunity exciting and look forward to further dialogue with you in our breakout room. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Hans-Erik. We're now going to put up our first investor poll. This is strictly for our investors. So this will be for our first 4 presenters. So we had Blue Vigil, which is a drone agnostic power tether. It allows users to keep their drones aloft for nearly endless flight times, and they have a great LED lighting application. Second presenter was Climate Karma, which is the Fitbit for climate, automatically, continually measuring your personal climate footprint based on cloud data interconnections to their partner APIs. Third presenter, Concentrix, developed a unit dose disposable dry powder inhaler platform. And our fourth presenter, who just went, Epital Health, which is a SaaS telehealth platform. They use AI and predictive health to treat chronic patients in their own homes. So this is for investors only. So if you're interested in investing, please indicate, and we will keep this confidential. We'll share it only with the presenting companies. And I do want to also mention or remind everybody that we are going to breakout rooms after our 10th presenter. So we have 6 more presenters, and you'll be able to go in and out of whatever breakout room you'd like. And each breakout room will be hosted by each of our 10 presenters. So you'll have a chance to meet the entrepreneurs and ask questions and go deeper. So, and also just as a reminder, download your chat transcript when you leave the main meeting to go into a breakout room, and also if you're going to leave the event, so you can review the chat transcript history later. So thank you, investors, for participating. Sky, I guess we can take down the poll, and I'll turn it back over to Anthony.
Great, thanks, Tien. I would now like to introduce Eva. Eva provides AI-driven event registration and virtual conference solutions, which allow associations and nonprofits to predict member behavior, curate a customized journey for attendees, and strategize future programming based on data, not guesswork. Please welcome Vinu Tashetty, CEO of Eva.
Eva is an online platform for virtual conferences and event registration with engagement tools. But most importantly, Eva's AI provides sophisticated analytics and insights. The problem that exists in the industry now is that data exists in too many places. It takes too much time to pull hundreds of reports, and the data doesn't give actionable plans. So Eva's AI solution gathers all the data points from multiple resources in order to predict what content will attract more people, thus revenue, evaluates events beyond the simple metrics, improve ROI for sponsors and exhibitors. In the current US market, it's a $37 billion market, expecting to grow to almost $163 billion by 2028. As Eva's unique AI features evolve and make it easier for organizations to predict success, Eva will capture more of the market share. There are competitors out there in the market right now, but where we're really different is the AI providing the smart data, customer support to produce a virtual event easy and affordable flat rates. Our team is ready to take it to the next level. We have over 65 years of combined experience specifically for associations and conferences, plus another 75 years of development experience. Last year's revenue was $500,000. With investment to support our growth strategy, we expect to be a $100 million company by 2025. Our revenue model is based on direct and indirect sales. We've raised $1 million, and our current ask is $5 million to use for marketing and sales and product development. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in the break room.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Vinu. We are going to do another investor poll after our next 2 presenters, just as you guys know, and then we'll do a final investor poll at the end of it all. But I would like to introduce Lauren Digler, who will introduce our next 5 presenting companies. Lauren is of counsel with the law firm of Nemphos Brow, where she represents startups, emerging and mature private companies, and investors in a variety of corporate securities and business law matters. She is an advisory board member of Girls Empowerment Mission and was appointed by Maryland Governor Larry Hogan to the Maryland Park Advisory Commission. Lauren is also a recipient of the Daily Records Leadership in Law Award. Congratulations, Lauren. Let Lauren tell you a little bit more about herself and her terrific firm. Lauren, thank you very much for your support of CONNECTpreneur, and welcome.
Thank you, Tien, and the entire CONNECTpreneur team, and to everyone participating today. At Nemphos Brow, we strongly believe in encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit and are very excited to hear from today's presenters. To share a little bit more about our firm, Memphis Brow offers big firm expertise with boutique level service with lawyers experienced in all aspects of business and corporate law. We focus on building true strategic partnerships with our clients, and we strongly support entrepreneurs and emerging businesses. We're experienced in a number of different industries, ranging from healthcare and technology to consumer goods and manufacturing. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to introduce our next group of presenters. So up next is Express Cells. Express Cells is a genetic editing biotech that creates custom and catalog cell lines for biological research using CRISPR and their patented fast HDR system. Please welcome Matt Handel, founder and CEO of Express Cells.
Well, thank you very much, and hello, everyone. As you heard, we're a biotechnology company doing genetic engineering, but we're a little bit different. We're already revenue generating because we don't focus on therapeutics nor on diagnostics. We create cell lines that are used by researchers. In other words, we're helping the people who are trying to get the next best therapeutic or diagnostic. Now, what's a cell line? They're cells that are grown outside of an organism. Mouse cells, human cells, yeast cells are all used in the laboratory because before you can do research in people or in animals, you need to do them in cells. Now, genetic engineering, like what we do, makes cells useful. Here's a picture of what cells look like under a normal microscope. A little hard to discern what's going on. We can change them so that the cells fit the scientific experiment rather than the other way around. Our particular segment, knock-ins, where we insert genes, is a pretty unsatisfied market. It takes forever, it seems, to deliver cell lines, especially if you have a high burn rate at your small company. You can only do a limited number of insertions, and even worse, genes may go to the wrong location. In other words, it could be garbage in, garbage out. We have a better way. We're a CRISPR company. We use CRISPR to create a break or an injury in the genome, and then we trick the cell's own repair mechanism into inserting our plasmid, our free-floating bit of DNA, for us. The result is that we can knock in multiple genes into a cell and make it look very different. Look at the cells down below. Actually, the same type of cells that I showed in the last slide, but now we've knocked in genes that code for 3 different fluorescent proteins. Very easy for the scientists to see what's going on or overexpress their target. Now, cell lines is a huge and quickly growing market. CRISPR cell lines alone are 1.6 billion in 2020, growing to over 6 billion in 2028. Cell line engineering, which is what we do, is the largest segment. It's over 500 million probably last year and over 600 million this year. We've gotten great traction since we launched in 2018. We have 35 customers. We got our first U.S. patent last year in January. We have both U.S. and other patents in negotiation. We have catalog items, although much of our business comes from custom work. We have a Japanese distribution agreement already producing sales. And we're so busy, we're opening a larger facility in April of 2022. Now, I said we have customers. You can see we have a wide variety of customers, some big names like Genentech and Biogen, a lot of smaller companies, some of you may have invested in them, and some leading academic institutions as well. And who's doing this? Well, we have a very well organized and skilled team. One thing to note, all 5 of us have been with the company for over 2.5 years. We have a nice, stable management team. And as you can see, we have people who are former CEOs, people who have deep expertise in genetic engineering. Our business model is straightforward. We do everything in our own laboratory to control quality. We have multi-channel promotion, online, in person when available, as well as a fair amount of work that we're now doing through distributors, and we continue to talk to potential partners. We're delivering significant margins, 80% plus. And if you look, we have a 30 million revenue target in 2026. You can see how this grows. We have a number of different factors driving it: our current business, international, expanding the product line to include other types of cells that researchers need, and a royalty-based business based on cells that are used in manufacturing. Finally, how do you get involved? We have the Series B going on right now. It's 3 million. It's a priced round. We're 50% committed, so plenty of space. It's preferred equity, pari passu for the most part with our Series A. And our pre-money valuation is 10 million. It's our last raise before profitability and hopefully a potential exit. And what we're targeting right now is hopefully a 10 to 14 times return based on comparables. So we're Express Cells, a commercial genetic engineering company. If you'd like to get involved in biotech, but in a company that's already producing revenue, join us in the breakout room.
Thank you, Matt. Our next company to present is Gait Better. Gait Better promotes healthy aging by reducing falls and improving mobility through a patented and clinically proven virtual reality-based motor cognitive training solution. Please welcome co-founder and CEO Hilik Harari.
Thank you, Lorraine. Falls are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among older adults. Falls are so common that I'm sure each one of you knows at least one person who has experienced a fall. Falls also place a huge burden on healthcare systems, accounting to 2% of the total health expenditure. Recent studies show that decline in cognitive capacity, especially relating to executive functions such as motor planning and dual tasking, can lead to tripping and poor obstacle negotiation. Yet, most existing solutions ignore the decline in cognitive resources as being a major contributor to falls. Researchers also proved that combining cognitive training with motor training significantly improves outcomes. And this is exactly what we do. Gait Better provides a motor cognitive training by adding a semi-immersive virtual reality to treadmills. Our software solution transforms any existing treadmill into a personalized motor cognitive device. The trainee is walking on the treadmill and see her own 2 feet on the simulation. As they walk, they encounter virtual challenges to practice both motor and cognitive skills at the same time. They practice obstacle negotiation while asked to remember things they see along the way, practice decision-making, and focus their attention by ignoring different distractors. Gait Better works. More than $8 million invested in building and improving our core technology. Our system was tested in the largest randomized control trial ever conducted in the field of virtual reality and rehabilitation and proved its superiority over alternatives. We have 18 peer-reviewed publications, and we continue to work with leading researchers to extend our clinical efficacy. Gait Better aims to promote healthy aging everywhere. Gait Better Clinical Edition is already in use by hospitals and rehabilitation clinics. Our next product will be used by senior living and wellness centers. And we plan to launch Gait Better for Home, which I call Peloton for older adults, by the end of 2023. Between these markets, we target about $2 billion market on an annual basis. Only Gait Better provides a universal add-on to existing treadmills. Others sell very expensive treadmills, making them unaffordable to most markets. Gait Better cost of ownership is significantly lower, and ROI is far higher. Gait Better is already in the market. It is an FDA-registered product and covered by existing CPT codes. We are post-revenue with over 60 paying devices. Our customers include the VA, Oshner Healthcare, New York Langone, and the 2 largest HMOs in Israel. To achieve our goals, we've assembled a very experienced team. Between us, we've raised over $100 million and had seven exits. Gait Better is offered for a one-time setup fee and an annual software license subscription. In our first year, we booked close to $500,000 in revenue and reached $170,000 in recurring revenue. We see great demand for our solution and expect a rapid growth in the next 5 years. By 2026, we project more than $70 million in revenues and an annual recurring rate of close to $50 million. We are now raising $1 million. This is an equity round issuing preferred shares. Proceeds will be used to strengthen our USA team and reach sales and traction milestones that will enable us to raise a significant A round at a much larger valuation. We would like for you to join us. Come meet with me at the breakout room at the end of this segment. I'd like to thank you, and please don't forget, use your head to keep moving forward.
Thanks so much, Hilik. Great job. I'd like to put up our second investor poll right now. And for those of you who joined late, it's just for our investors. So if you guys could please indicate your interest, and this is confidential. We will not share your names except with the presenting companies themselves. We have EVA, which is an artificially intelligence-driven event registration and conference technology, improving and customizing the attendee experience. We have Express Cells, genetic editing biotechnology company, creates custom and catalog cell lines for biological research. And most recently Gate Better, digital therapeutic using virtual reality-based motor cognitive training solutions to improve brain health and prevent injuries. So great presentations, guys. Just as a reminder, we will go into breakout rooms after our next three. So we'll have three more presenters. We'll do a final investor poll, and then we will go into breakout rooms. And just as a reminder, we have a lot of stuff in the chat box. We do these meetings so that everybody on the call can see everybody else and can communicate with everyone else. So you can download your chat transcript history before you leave to go into the breakout rooms or before you leave the meeting. So anyway, thank you guys. And Sky, we can take down the poll, and I'd like to turn it back over to Lauren.
Thank you. Our next presenter that I have the pleasure of introducing is Returnable. Returnable is a consumer-facing, subscription-based returns as a service platform that is making online returns as easy as online purchases and reducing the carbon footprint in the process. Please welcome CEO Kevin Doherty.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Returning stuff online shouldn't feel like a returnity. Returnity, what is that? It's the endless and arduous cycle of returning things that you don't want. Online returns are a hassle. We get it. Meet Returnable online return service, making online returns as easy as online purchases. It's returns as a service. No more boxing or taping, driving to the post office, printing out labels. Returnable allows you to send your purchase email, drop your item in the returnable box, and we get it from there. We're currently focused on apartment communities, but we have plans to capture other revenue opportunities throughout the reverse logistics chain, like returnable bins in supermarkets and office buildings. So this illustrates both our competition and our competitive advantage. There are over 10 companies trying to make the process easier for the merchant. We are the only company that is focused on the consumer experience. The companies on the left, their customer is the merchant. They make the process easier for them. Our customer, Returnable's customer, is the consumer. We make the process easier for the consumer, regardless of the merchant. 30% of online purchases are returned. That's compared to 8% return rate for brick and mortar stores. So that means Americans are returning over $260 billion worth of online purchases annually. So where are we now? We're currently operating and installed in 3 apartment communities in the Stamford, Connecticut area. We have 5 additional properties starting in the next 3 to 5 weeks, and we're closing on our first New York property in Manhattan next week. We also have 2 portfolio-level pilots starting this quarter, which we expect will lead to tens, if not hundreds, of additional properties in the pipeline. With over 3 decades of startup and product development experience, this dynamic team is poised to take this company to the next level. We're also advised by a powerhouse advisor group team from diverse backgrounds, spanning venture capital, private equity, e-commerce, and Fortune 10 companies. We're currently charging subscribers $8 a month, and our regional approach allows us to quickly bring on new subscribers. We expect this year to have revenue of approximately $500,000 and grow that to $25 million in the next 5 years. The founders have invested $250,000 so far, and we're looking for an additional $1 million to build out the team and scale the company. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you all in the breakout room.
Thank you, Kevin. Our next presenter is Sfa Therapeutics, a biotech with a novel platform focused on chronic inflammatory diseases with a vision to change medicine. Please welcome CEO Dr. Ira Spector.
Hi, I'm Ira Spector, the CEO and co-founder of Sfa Therapeutics, a new way of treating the root cause of autoimmune disease. There are over 125 million people who suffer from debilitating autoimmune diseases like psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, and lupus. And for them, we have a safer, disease-modifying oral solution. The current gold standard treatment is immunosuppression, which basically dumbs down the symptoms, causing severe side effects. Our oral pill treats the root cause of the disease, and we have strong clinical data showing significant durable responses, like the patient shown above who is now off drug and clear, and an excellent safety profile. We're focusing first on psoriasis. This is an incurable chronic skin disease that affects 3.5% of the world's population and is growing at greater than 11% per year. It has major effects on the quality of life. Patients feel unattractive, depressed, have financial distress, and even before the pandemic, many were restricted to working from home. And yet, less than 10% of patients take the drugs that you see on television every night due to the severe side effects, which are half of the ads. Our oral pill has strong efficacy, as shown in the patient picture above, with significantly better safety and lower cost of goods, backed by 8 issued patents with 40 patents pending in 12 countries. We have a phase 1b clinical trial already underway in 30 patients and a clear regulatory path from the FDA. We're showing clinically demonstrated efficacy, as shown in the picture on the right, with a safer drug with less side effects in an oral pill at lower cost of goods. And if it works in psoriasis, it has the potential to work in other high-value autoimmune diseases like MS, lupus, and rheumatoid arthritis. Our safety package was submitted and approved by the FDA in 2018. Our investigational new drug authorization was received in 2020, and we have a drug manufacturer under contract. The analytical methods needed for phase 2 have been developed, and the FDA has already reviewed our phase 2A protocol. And I should remind you that the total amenable market for this indication alone exceeds $30 billion and is growing at greater than 11% per year. We are an experienced team of drug developers with over 40 drugs approved amongst us and over 200 years of drug development experience, 10 prior exits, and over $600 million in prior raises. And we're poised to take SFA to the next level with your help. Our financial model is to license each drug to big pharmas and biotechs for upfront licensing fees, royalties, and milestone payments. A typical asset license is worth about $500 million, and we have 6 drugs in our pipeline. We've already raised $3.4 million, and we're looking for another $600 million to complete our round, after which we will pause on raising money after our clinical trial. So the use is to fund our phase 2A clinical trial, and we have some significant investors as shown below. At SFA, our vision is to change medicine by treating the root cause of autoimmune disease. On behalf of these patients, please join us in this very important journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Spector. Our next presenter is SinglePass. SinglePass has developed a patented electrocautery device that seals the tissue channel after solid organ biopsy procedures to prevent post-procedure bleeding, hematoma formation, and hemorrhage. Please welcome CEO and co-founder of SinglePass, Bill Colon.
Thank you, Lauren, and thanks everyone for the opportunity to present SinglePass and our new device, which dramatically improves the safety of biopsy procedures. Every biopsy procedure causes bleeding because they use a large diameter biopsy guide needle, sometimes as long as 6 inches, that is pushed in through the skin until it reaches the target tissue area. Then a tissue gun or extractor goes into that needle and removes a tissue sample. The bleeding that is caused by removing the tissue sample can cause many different severe clinical adverse events. And currently, there are no procedure techniques or devices that can prevent or stop this bleeding. And these adverse events are extremely expensive to repair, and some of them are even life-threatening. SinglePass has developed an electrocautery device that uses battery current to superheat the tip of a probe that fits through the guide needle after a tissue sample is removed. The super hot tip then cauterizes or heat seals the tissue to prevent bleeding or stop bleeding. So when we do this, this eliminates the need for a patient ever needing a blood transfusion or the patient ever developing the possibility of a hemorrhage. Last year, there were almost 4 million biopsy procedures performed on the kidney, liver, lung, and prostate. The US is the largest single market, which makes up almost 40% of the global market. That's growing at 6% a year. This gives us a total addressable market already of over $1 billion, and it's growing each year. We have many design features that are above and beyond what the competition has. Most importantly, we are the only cautery company that has a patented probe design that can fit inside of a biopsy guide needle. So the other electrocautery devices cannot even be used for this application. In addition to our affordability and ease of use, this makes a perfect device for use after biopsy procedures. The company only started in May of 2021. We've made a lot of progress very quickly. We already have 2 patents issued. There are others pending. We've completed most of our testing that we need for both of our regulatory submissions. We've also already entered talks with potential international distribution organizations that have reached out to us to inquire about carrying our product once we have commercial approval. We've also held a few talks with some large strategics that may be acquisition partners in the future. SinglePass team, very experienced group of clinicians and medical device engineers. The med device engineers collectively have over 100 years experience of designing and developing medical devices from concept all the way through commercialization. And collectively, we hold almost 100 patents between the 4 of us. And we've been part of 4 previous med device startup exits that totaled over $200 million in proceeds. We will have revenue by the end of this year. Initially, it will come in Europe with the use of distribution companies. And then very late in the year, we will start selling in the US with a direct sales force. The revenue will scale as we add more distribution companies and build the sales force. And we believe by 2023, we will have enough clinical data and market traction to become an attractive acquisition target. Previously, in our seed round, we raised $1.46 million on a convertible note. Now we are out for our Series A, asking for $2 million, and that cash will be used to finish up both of the regulatory approvals in the US and Europe and perform our initial commercial launch. So thank you for your time. I hope I can answer any questions you may have in the breakout session.
Great. Thank you so much, Bill. Great job. And we'll put up our 3rd and final investor poll. This is, again, for investors only. If you're interested in investing in or getting to know these companies better, please indicate. We will go into breakout rooms as soon as this poll and the next poll are done. You'll be able to go in and out of whatever breakout rooms you want. But just as a reminder, so we have Returnable, which is a subscription-based concierge returns as a service platform that makes online returns as easy as online purchases and reducing the carbon footprint in the process. Sfa Therapeutics, biotechnology focused on treating chronic inflammatory diseases and cancer. And most recently, with Bill here, we had SinglePass, which is a med device company that has developed a patented electrocautery device to improve the safety of biopsy procedures. So I still see some polls coming in. We'll keep these confidential. We're going to share the investor names with the presenting company, so they'll follow up with you. But last call for investors, if you guys are interested. Also, keep in mind that not only are our presenting companies hosting their own breakout rooms, but also they're going to be hosting follow-on deep dive meetings later on, probably next week and the week after. So be sure to get in contact with them if you want to go deeper. It would be more than a 4-minute pitch. It'll probably be, an hour meeting or whatever. So keep your eyes out for that. And then I'd like to put up our final poll today, which is a poll for our sponsors. And this is, if you already answered the poll at the beginning of the event, no need to answer again. We have your information, but this is obviously to support our sponsors, and our sponsors are the ones who make these events possible. So if you're looking for any of their services, we will put you in touch with them. Marketing and design services with Stella Pop, legal services for startups, legal services for M&A and corporate finance, application development, digital transformation services. If you're looking for accounting and tax services or wealth management and estate planning. We also have a tremendous sponsor who does deferred compensation solutions and group health and life insurance. If you're interested in joining the CONNECTpreneur Ambassador Program, so we're expanding CONNECTpreneur into multiple cities. We're looking at when this pandemic kind of subsides, we'll be going to probably Boston, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta in the near future, and then looking at markets like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Kansas City and Denver beyond that. And we're also thinking about doing a multi-day healthcare investment conference in San Francisco next year, as well as one in Austin, Texas for technology. So our ambassadors are people that can help us, volunteer here and help us with the logistics and with presenting companies and investors and whatnot. So Skylar has more information, but if you indicate your interest, we'll follow up with you. If you're interested in sponsoring CONNECTpreneur or presenting at a future event, please indicate. And I see some final results coming in, so thank you for your participation. And then just final comments here. Please mark your calendar. Our next CONNECTpreneur virtual event will be February 24th or 25th rather. So it's available on Eventbrite. You can register, and we do these monthly. These are the world's largest monthly investor pitch events, and we appreciate your guys' participation. So with that, we'll take down the poll, and Sky, I think we're ready to open up. Let's open up the breakout rooms. You guys can go to whatever breakout rooms you want. Each room is hosted by our investors. Before you go to the breakout room, you want to download your chat history, though. Make sure you click on chat, and then there's a little rounded square with 3 dots in the lower right-hand corner, and you can hit save. That way you can review your chat history later. There's hundreds of messages in the chat, so obviously you weren't able to do it on a real-time basis. But after you do that, go ahead and select the breakout rooms you want to go to. If you're not able to go into a breakout room on your own, then maybe you have an older version of Zoom, and we can help you. One of our co-hosts will help move you into the breakout room. Just change your name to indicate which breakout room you want to go to. And again, remember, these breakout rooms are for our presenting companies. So, it's your opportunity to talk more and ask more questions, and anyway, but just know that it's their breakout room. So with that, we'll go into that room, and I want to thank everyone for participating today, and hope you guys' year is off to a new start, and we'll see you guys real soon. Thank you.